in North Korea, like actually if you meet the dictators in person, they literally say that you have met the sun of this universe, the center of this universe. Therefore, if you ever had the honor of shaking their hands, you cannot even wash the hands because that's how precious it is. Nobody is a human being in that country. Nobody has a right to pursue the happiness. This country exists to just glorify one man, one dictator. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Yeonmi Park and I'm a nurse and defective human rights activist. So guys, today in this video, I found the pictures that could literally reveal the truth about North Korean regime and the reality of North Korean people. And without delay, let's start. So this is the first picture. There's one little boy. I cannot even guess how old he might be. And this is a very typical North Korean household. Not just only that. This is a very top elite North Korean household. The reason that I can tell why this is a top elite North Korean household is that do you see these portraits of the Kims? So in North Korea, every wall that has the best wall condition, that doesn't have the door and clean wall, that has to have the Kim dictators portraits. It's mandatory. Every household has to have these portraits. And the reason why this is elite homes is that this other than this normal clothes that Kims are wearing, there's the military costume that dictators are wearing. Those are the only ones for the elites, that especially the ones in the military. They get that. In North Korea, military are in the highest hierarchy of the status. And therefore, you can see this is a military family household. And then on the side, there are also pictures. Those are the pictures also usually the people in North Korea who had the honor that have met the dictators. So, I was really shocked when I was in America. They were like my friends who actually met the sitting president, the President Bush, Obama, and like Trump. Then they were like, yeah, it was a cool experience. But in North Korea, like actually if you meet the dictators in person, they literally say that you have met the sun of this universe, the center of this universe. Therefore, if you ever had the honor of shaking their hands, you cannot even wash the hands because that's how precious it is. And once you meet them, then you are registered in the national system that you have seen the sun of this universe. Therefore, your class is protected. Therefore, the households that met the dictators put those portraits on their wall and show off that how special class they are. And this is the biggest pride that North Koreans have. The biggest pride for North Koreans is not owning a yacht or Ferrari and nice cars. It is really having these pictures that taken with the dictator. And the problem of this having portraits at home is that once the house gets fire, then the first thing you have to protect is these pictures. If you fail to protect these pictures and get them damaged by fire or natural disaster, not only yourself, the 3 generations of that family get punished together. And therefore, these are the most treasured items, not because North Korean people really, really care, but they have to. Otherwise, their whole generation is gonna be dying in the concentration camp. The second picture is if you see this complete control and darkness. This is in the city of North Korea. Every other building, every other place, it has no electricity. But do you see there's only one place that got electricity? That is where the portraits of dictators are. And usually in the countryside outside of the capital, there's only one place that you can see the lights. Those are where the monuments and the Kim dictators' portraits are. Those places only get to have electricity. And outside of that, nobody gets to see electricity lights in 21st century, this modern world. North Koreans still do not have electricity. It shows that this country exists to just glorify one man, one dictator. 25 millions live to just making one guy a king. And that's how North Korean system designed. Nobody is a human being in their country. Nobody has a right to pursue the happiness and their potential. Only one guy. For his own happiness and his sustaining power, the country is dedicated to glorify this one evil dictator. This third picture is just the indescribable suffering of North Korean people. This picture just taken recently in North Korea. People still do not have taking benefit of this modern technology. There is no gas or electricity. People still using their own back. And sometimes if they have cow in the collective farm, that's their house, their conductor farm. When I came to America and seeing the farms and the devices people using, like really nobody going on and doing the actual manual farming in America. It's all use technology. It's all like that. In North Korea, it's still 12th century. People are digging and using their own back, and that's how they survive every day. This picture was kind of funny and heartbreaking. Do you see? So there was a photojournalist who supposedly went to, and North Korean region wanted to show off to the foreign guests that North Korea had a computer. So they were going there to take pictures. However, what happened was the electricity gone out. There's a power outage. And the students got so confused, but they still have to show off. So they are pretending to their computer while there's no electricity on, there's no power on. Even the computer is not on, the students are pretending they're doing computer. And that's how the whole thing is a show. Its entire thing is a scam. That nothing about North Korea is real. And that's how Kim Jong-un is so desperate to to hide the truth about the reality of North Korea. And then how inside the country is so indescribably corrupt and just behind. The country is so behind from this modern world that they are just pretending this kind of thing. This picture is very interesting. This picture is actually the middle between China and North Korea. Do you see that China side has this high rises and the other side is completely not developed? And that's North Korean side, the contrast. Believe it or not, guys, until even 60s and even early 70s, somehow North Koreans had better lives than Chinese. Before China opened up their economy, the people in China, the 5 years plan Mao, and there's a famine in China too. There were millions of died from starvation, man-made starvation. And in the 60s, North Korea were getting a lot of aid from Soviet Union. And therefore, because they had heavily subsidized economy, gave North Koreans better life. And then that thing started changing because China opened up and adapted to free market. And North Korea got this ideology called 주체. That means we are going to cut the ties with the foreign nations. No diplomatic relationship, no trading relationship. The country forced people to surviving on their own without relying on any other nation. So with that isolation, North Koreans, without also Soviet Union's subsidy, that country's trajectory went back. People are starving right now, even at this very moment. And Chinese are flourishing because that's the miracle of free market. It lifts people from the poverty. Nothing ever succeeded like free market. And you see the clear two results, that one has a free market, one has no free market. And this is the biggest contrast you can imagine right now. So whenever I say to the people that there's no freedom of movement, and this picture clearly shows that. North Korean people are not only just allowed to not traveling abroad and not having a passport, they do not have a freedom to move between towns within North Korea. So even within North Korea, people are isolated. I'm sure you can relate to a little bit of this during the lockdown, that some countries had no right to travel between towns. I'm not sure how bad other countries has been, but North Korea, even before the pandemic, people had no right to travel other towns, and there are checkpoints between every town, and that's how people are even isolated and oppressed within North Korea. This is a picture of a literal slavery. These are the soldiers, which are like teenager kids. In North Korea, men is like mandatory to serve in the military for 10 years. Every man in North Korea have to serve in the military 10 years. During the 10 years, they don't get paid, they don't get fed, they get beaten, they get tortured, they get starved. And also during that time, they are physical manual labor to the regime. They are working the collective farm, they are doing the free construction work, and these teenagers stagnant in their growth because of malnutrition and working like this, or like it just reminds me of the Holocaust. During the Holocaust, then Jewish people in a concentration camp. The whole country is a concentration camp, and whole nation is starved like this and working tirelessly, forced into slavery by the regime, and they work like this every single day for this one dictator. This is another picture, shows the truth about North Korean regime. This is supposedly a very fancy store in Pyongyang, and they try to show off that how North Korea has a grocery stores and people go shop. However, do you guys see that? These shelves are empty, and a lot of them, some of the products they have, those are plastics. They are not even real products. But the regime is so desperate to deceive the people that how the North Korea is a socialist paradise, how socialism is superior than capitalism, and obviously they have nothing in those shelves. I was so shocked when I came to America and going to Walmart for the first time. The endless sections of choices and products. In North Korea, even with money, you cannot buy stuff because there's a shortage of everything. And this pictures, it just reminds me of my childhood. The North Korean children had to get up at 5 a.m. and have to go to the monuments of Kim's and clean it and show your loyalty to the regime. And everybody in North Korea, that's their thing. Their greatest honor in their life, their only existence, the purpose of their existence is serving the regime. And therefore, North Korean children and everybody have to go to the monuments of the Kims and clean it as if that is the most precious jewel they have. And then you see the guards looking at them and see if these people are doing a good job or not. And if you don't do a good job, they accuse you that your loyalty is not good enough and you can send to concentration camp for that. And this is they are cleaning these monuments as if their life depends on it. Not because they want it, but they have to survive in that regime. This is another picture of North Korean roads. So guys, in North Korea, 97% roads are not paved. And only 3%, even that 3%, there are no cars. So actually a lot of North Korean children, if there's a nice paved roads, we go take a nap there because there are no cars coming by. And you see just they have roads, but there's no cars going by. And here is because it's so funny in North Korea, they say one in almost 1,000 person there's a car. An entire car is owned by the regime. So North Korea has the lowest ownership of cars in the world right now. And the last picture it shows, it just breaks my heart beyond anything. These are the human beings. These are the people oppressed because the regime choose to oppress them and starve them. I never grew up with a shower in my life. My time to go take a bath was in the river. And still, my countrymen, they go to the river. No shampoo, no soap. They go to this filthy river and just wash up. And they drink the exact same water and get diarrhea and die. And this is the thing, we need to somehow end this regime. I think to do that is really the first step, is be aware what's going on inside the country. When the Holocaust happening, a lot of people did not know and they denied. And most of people do not understand. The United Nations declared that what is happening in North Korea is a modern day Holocaust. I hope that today's pictures really help you understand that the deceiving nature of the regime and the reality, daily life of North Korean people, how unimaginable it is and how unacceptable this is to, as a human beings, If someone treats us this way, it is our duty to defend human rights. So please join me in this movement to free North Koreans, guys, and hit the like button so algorithm can recommend this video to more people. And join my Patreon. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thank you so much.